The community is in shock after a former youth pastor at a Colwood church has been charged with sexual exploitation involving a 16-year-old girl. As we first showed you last night on CTV News, by all accounts, 33-year-old Ira Parmenter was well liked and respected in his congregation. Now questions are being raised about how long the church knew and how the young victim may deal with the aftermath. CTV's Louise Hartland has that story.
Good afternoon, Women's Sexual Assault Center.
Victoria's Women's Sexual Assault Center is a haven for thousands of victims of sexual crimes every year. Victims like the 16-year-old girl West Shore RCMP says was allegedly assaulted by a former youth pastor at a Colwood church.
It can be pastors, or it can be the most respected business person in the community, or it might be the stranger jumping out of the bush, or it might be somebody's parent, or their little league coach, or it could be anybody.
On Friday, 33-year-old Ira Parmenter was arrested in Newfoundland, where he was living, after West Shore RCMP issued a warrant for his arrest. Parmenter is charged with sexual exploitation involving a 16-year-old girl, an assault alleged to have taken place between July 2007 and November 2008. West Shore RCMP says it only found out about the alleged crime when the mother contacted police in April 2011.
Our biggest emotion as a church has probably been sadness, just through this whole process.
Yesterday, Colwood Pentacostal Church lead pastor Al Funk told us Parmenter was well liked and respected by the young people in the congregation.
He was involved in caring for our youth group, youth and young adults, which could reach anywhere from 50 to 70 people.
Pastor Funk declined our request for an interview today, but tells CTV News the church first heard rumblings of Parmenter acting inappropriately after the youth pastor resigned in 2009.
So he voluntarily resigned. We knew nothing about any of this until after he was gone.
Funk says the parents of the children involved were told, but police were not called. This was posted on a blog anonymously in September 2010. The author claims in the time Parmenter worked at the church he was having sexual relations with girls under the age of 16. West Shore RCMP says it only knows of one victim in Parmenter's case, but is asking any others to come forward. A possibility no one here is willing to rule out. Counselors say only between 6 and 10% of victims of sexual assault report it to police.
There are some stats that say 1 in 3 women will have experienced some sexualized violence throughout at some point in their lifetime. That's an awful lot. I'd say that's a really big problem.
A problem police say is amplified when it involves a person of authority. Ira Parmenter will appear in West Shore Provincial Court June 21st.
Louise Hartland joins us now live with more. Louise, this is not the first time allegations of sex crimes have rocked Greater Victoria's religious circle.
That's right, Andrew. In July 2010, Father Philip Jacobs was charged with sexual assault, sexual interference, and sexual exploitation. Jacobs served as parish priest at St. Joseph the Worker in Saanich from 1996 until 2002 when he resigned. Court records show the charges stem from 4 separate complaints of sexual assault made to Saanich police. He was released on $25,000 bail, and Saanich police say he will appear in court again in November. Andrew.
We'll keep an eye on that one. Thanks, Louise.
You're welcome.